Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, we got a bunch of sugar honey iced tea to talk about. Listen, we're going to start with showing you some crazy liberals fighting ICE. Scott Jennings speaking the truth as always. I might get into the Anton Daniels and Corey Hogan fight, but before all that sugar honey iced tea and shenanigans, Ben Shapiro went on Gavin Newsom's podcast and cooked. Welcome to the Officer Tatum Show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Officer Tatum Show. I want to tell you guys about the Tatum Store. All you have to do is go to tatumstore.com, put in code ICE26, get 26% off. Make sure you go on to the drinkware, get some tumblers. We got a whole bunch of incredible tumblers. I got one back here, actually, and this is the one for Shenergy, but I just want to show you the design. This nice brass look, this is the best quality tumbler. Look at that, with the straw included. And we got different designs in this structure. This is my favorite structure. We got a bunch of different ones for you in case you guys want something different, but that is my favorite structure by far. I think I put it back in the right spot. Also, make sure you go on to Freedom Chat, follow me on Freedom Chat, and if you want to communicate end-to-end encryption, the place that you could trust more than any of these other places to get real encrypted conversation and communication would be freedomchat.com. You can download the app on your phone and also follow me. I have a channel on Freedom Chat, and you can follow me there. Shout out to the Black Line Guardian Fund. We have been raising a tremendous amount of money, and I think we should do a lot better. When I say tremendous, we ain't in the millions or nothing like that, but we should be, to be honest, and what these people on our side need as far as security, as far as threat assessment, online threat assessment, all of these things. And we've been blessed to be able to work with Nick Shirley to help him with no cost to him when it comes to his security. We got a whole bunch of other influencers that have reached out to us and that we want to provide security for. Our influencers shouldn't have to worry about this. They should be secured to go out and do journalism the way journalism was meant to do. Follow me on the podcast, The Officer Tatum Show. We got to talk about Ben Shapiro. Pull it up on the screen. Gavin Newsom is the sorriest son of a gun on planet Earth. And I'm starting to like Ben Shapiro again more and more as of late. He's been right. He's been accurate. He's been holding it down. Holding the fort down. And to be honest, some of y'all young folk don't know that Ben Shapiro was the original OG going on campus and informing young students and having probably some of the greatest debates that you've watched. Obviously, Charlie Kirk took it over and exacerbated what he was doing. But Ben Shapiro was the original OG. I don't know why Gavin Newsom wanted Ben Shapiro to go on the show, because it turned out bad. All right, the first one is the gender discussion that Ben Shapiro had with McDumdum Newsom. Roll the clip.
Fundamental question that lies at the root of all of this is the question that you're not wanting to answer, which is whether boys can become girls.
Yeah, I think I'm for the grace of God. Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate the sympathy.
Hold on, shawty. What? Was that a glitch? Go back, bro. Did he not answer that question by saying for the grace of God? Bro, you ain't putting that on the end or the front of that? For the grace of God. What is for the grace of God? That tells you ain't never been to church. You know, these fools be just using random phrases they think they heard at a church somewhere. Just for the grace of God. That ain't an answer for that. Play the clip, man.
Can become girls.
Yeah, I think I'm for the grace of God. Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate the sympathy. I also feel terrible for listen, anybody who's suffering with any sort of
I mean, I think it's
mental or
been
physical
the
condition,
case
that's
for
terrible, but
generations, for in time immemorial. God bless. I don't know how.
Why is this a hard one? I just don't understand.
Because I don't know why it's such a. Why is it such a? I'm curious. I understand the political potency of it.
It's not just politically potent,
but it just how it's so few. We're talking
Because
about
then
so few people
It's not about the
that are struggling with gender identity issues. A lot of remarkable people, a lot of wildly successful
Sure.
people, and they've gone on their life, have incredible lives. I don't know. There's so much hate and bigotry,
Well,
so much condemnation, so much judgment.
this is the part where I start to object.
Yeah.
Okay, the idea that
You
if
may not be spewing it.
No,
Like
but-
some others.
no,
Trust
but,
me.
But the
This is the business
listen,
they're in.
there are lots of terrible people who say lots of terrible things, but
Yes.
it is not an act of bigotry to say that a boy cannot become a girl, nor should my children be taught in K through 12 public schools that a boy can become a girl.
Yeah.
That is not an act of bigotry. That's an act of rationality and biological simplicity.
I respect your point of view, and
But
good
does the
people.
state?
Good people disagree on this.
I know, but does
And a
the
lot of
state?
states, not just California, well-established rules, by the way, that predate me. Again, this is not where I started. We're campaigning and advocating on these issues, as some suggest. And look, I'm with the Governor Spencer Cox, who said about many of these issues, never so much attention been placed on so few people.
But the problem is, I do think that on an electoral level, to go to the politics, it is a barrier to entry for a lot of people. When
I
you
agree
say,
with that.
When
I
you
agree
say a
with
boy
that.
can become a girl,
Yeah.
and then just
I
on,
do
on,
agree
a,
with
on a
that.
realistic.
And by the way, and I respect if that's your barrier to then listening to people on a myriad of other issues, so be it.
Right,
It is
but
what it is.
I just find it strange that even if you wish to have a public policy that pursues something different, we cannot just admit that boys and girls are two different things and that a boy cannot become a girl. Why is this so difficult?
Yeah, I understand your point of view.
Yeah, see,
And, and I also
just
respect
like a
Caitlyn Jenner.
politician.
I do.
It's not
And
about respect for individuals.
well, no,
Just like a politician, bro. Like, I don't understand how it's hard either. Like, just say one or the other. Just come out and say, I don't want to say this because I don't want to offend people. I may not totally agree with it, but people will get offended if I say it. Like, come out and articulate and express yourself instead of sounding like a dummy because you're just not even answering anything. You're not even saying anything. For the grace of God, I don't know. Like, why are you putting yourself in a pretzel? You're a grown man. You should have enough testicle fortitude to say, this is what I think. You like for instance, marriage is between a man and a woman. Now, if I was the president, there is legal and legislative things that have to be enacted in order for that to be realized or not realized. States have rights. People may vote that that's what they want. I don't agree with it. But if that's what the people voted for, that's what they voted for. If I was a politician in the state of Arizona and the people overwhelmingly voted for something that I disagree with personally, then it don't matter because I'm working for the people. I may be like, oh, these people silly. But that's what they voted for. It's not my job to tell them what to do. It's my job to be a representative of what the people want. And if I don't like the direction, I can step down. But I ain't got to be in a pretzel. Come on, next clip, schools and trans. Roll it.
Why does the parent not have an absolute moral ability to receive that information? And why is there not a requirement? There should be a requirement for teachers to turn over that information.
health and safety. Health and safety is a requirement.
If a teacher truly believes that a parent is a threat to a child, they can report it to child services.
Yeah, so health and safety is still the standard. So you maintain that standard. That standard is the law.
That's a lot of wiggle room for a teacher to apply.
Well,
over
it's
parents.
but it's a lot of law in terms of the weight of that law and that responsibility to take care of it, make sure your kids are safe. But this idea that Trump says people are going to public schools and coming back, having surgeries and coming back the next day is absurd.
No, but there are certainly cases in which kids are being quote unquote socially transitioned at school without parents knowing about it. I know some of the parents to whom this has happened. I mean, this is the fundamental question that lies at the root of all of this is the question that you're not wanting to answer, which is whether boys can become girls.
Yeah, I think for the grace of God.
Oh, it's
I appreciate the sympathy.
redundant clip.
I also feel terrible for anybody who's suffering with any sort of
I mean, I think it's
mental or
been
physical
the
condition.
case
That's
for
terrible, but
generations, for time immemorial. God bless.
Right. We can move to the next clip. I don't want to be redundant. So if there's something added to that clip that we missed, we could fix it. Let's go to the next one. Should we take Trump seriously is the topic. Roll it.
But should I give attention to Donald Trump when I sat there in the Oval Office for 90 minutes and he tells me to turn around and there's a picture on the wall or painting on the wall of FDR. And I look at him and I smile and he goes, I said, oh, here's the third term. He goes, what about 4 terms? Should I take him seriously?
Okay, so
should I take him literally?
So I will say,
I don't know. I'm just a question.
I know, and my general
That's
answer.
the president.
And my general answer to this is, if we've watched Donald Trump for 10 years, and we're still doing the thing where we all take him explicitly literally, I think that so
Maduro
did. So people
or has.
Okay, it turns out Maduro should have. But you know, one of the things that I remember I would get this critique about President Trump a lot is President Trump, who, as I've said multiple times, on his epitaph, it will read 45th and 47th president of the United States. He said a lot of shit. You know, like the thing that
I'm not going to pretend. I take my presidents a little more seriously than most.
I don't think you do. And this is the thing where I really doubt it. I see a lot of people who Trump will fire off a random tweet, and everybody kind of laughs because it's President Trump. If I'm going to pretend that is coming from the same thought process as whatever comes from Joe Biden's press office, which went through 7 layers and maybe not the president,
very different.
Then I'm not gonna pretend that's the same thing, because I'm not an idiot, you know.
And by the way, I could not agree even more. And that's, I think, reflected in the humor I'm trying to put back in on my social media.
And actually, I think it's kind of a problem for you, because I think that, frankly, the stuff that you're doing is more thought out than the stuff that President Trump does. Meaning, I think that President Trump is waking up at 3 a.m. if he went to sleep at all, and he's firing off stuff on Truth Social, right? And so, am I supposed to take that as seriously as you, in a methodical fashion, saying, you know what, I'm going to prank him back? And I think that people who are your supporters do take you in that way more literally than they would be apt to take President Trump.
I think, a lot of my supporters have been offended by what we're trying to do, but.
Hey, I'm just going to give an observation. Is Gavin Newsom gay? I'm just watching mannerisms, bro. Like the mannerisms. You know, I got my legs like this, right? His leg was flat on the bottom like this. Y'all can't see my legs. Don't zoom it because it might mess the camera angle up. But his leg was flat, so it made his hips turn like this. That's Come on, give him the thing.
Why are you gay?
Okay, there you go, right here. Give him the thing probably wasn't a good one either. Good word to say. But anyway, like, I think he got a little sugar in his tank. You see how this is what I'm like, nah, man, Gavin. That's probably why he can't lead right, because he in the closet. When he come out the closet, he'd probably be a good leader. All right. Let's go to the next clip. Gavin Newsom and Ben Shapiro talking about ICE. Roll the clip.
I'll ask you this just generally about policy with regard to ICE, because obviously it's become incredibly contentious given what the federal government is doing in states like California. You know, it seems to me that there have been a number of deportations from red states, right, where there are governors and localities working with ICE. California is a sanctuary state, which makes it much more difficult for local law enforcement to hand over information to ICE about deportation status. What's the purpose of that? Wouldn't best policy, you're pragmatic, you talk about your pragmatism all the time, wouldn't best policy be to cooperate with ICE in the vast majority of cases? So instead of ICE going to, as you say, hospitals and churches to pick people up, they'd be going to jailhouses to pick people up.
That's exactly what they do in California, and we have over 10,000 that I've cooperated with since I've been governor of California. We work very directly with ICE as it relates to CDCR, our state prison. California has cooperated with more ICE transfers probably than any other state in the country. And I vetoed multiple pieces of legislation that have come from my legislature to stop the ability for the state of California to do that. So when it comes to the issues of violent criminals, when it comes to felons, people that are being released from the largest state system in the United States of America, California cooperates with ICE.
Okay, but why is it then, what makes it a sanctuary state?
The broader sanctuary policies that are established, and we had a policy that was established under Governor Brown, SB 54. You have city sanctuary policies that go back quite literally to the time Ronald Reagan was governor, as it relates to some of the issues in Central America, sort of the origin stories. But the bottom line is relates to those policies, this notion that federal law should be enforced by federal law enforcement agencies, that we should not consign local law enforcement to federal responsibilities and prioritization.
Right, but shouldn't the state step in with localities and tell localities that they ought to cooperate better with ICE, thus to facilitate?
Well, I have sort of Rudy Giuliani's point of view, who made the point as an advocate for sanctuary policy when he was mayor of New York. He said it keeps people safer, healthier, and more educated. Safer in the context that it allows community members to be more likely to participate as witnesses of crime or victims of crime in going after the perpetrators, more likely to get an immunization shot if they're not worried about the nurse turning them over to ICE, more likely to go to school and get educated if they're not worried about the school crossing guard crossing them and ultimately turning them over to ICE. So it's the tool of pragmatism because of the complete abject failure of the federal government. A sanctuary policy is unnecessary if we had comprehensive immigration reform and we had a federal response that was adequate to the task. But in the absence of that, it's grown from the 70s and 80s and 90s, 2000s. And obviously I got here as governor and we had an established framework before I got here.
But it is true that sanctuary policy obviously has had a massive impact as a driver of tremendous number of illegal immigrants in the state of California.
I don't know about that. I mean, you see in a lot of...
All right. It's a bunch of rubbish. Like, this stuff is very simple to me. Maybe I'm wrong. In the comment section, let me know if I'm tripping or I'm on to something. It's very simple. If I were to become the governor of California, right? It's very simple. If you're illegally in the country, you have to go. If you are a criminal, you go first. If you're caught hanging with a criminal, y'all go at the same time. I don't know what else to tell you. And I don't want this to be the case. I want you to be here and flourish. But I can't lack integrity by letting you cheat the system and everybody else have to abide by the system. If there was no system in place, then maybe we could have a conversation. But all the other people who had to wait in line to get here legally, it is a sham for me to just turn a blind eye to you. They needed it like you need it. They went through the right process. You cheated. Like, I can't defend you. Lupe, you knew you came here a long time. You knew you was illegal for 45 years, and you never tried to do anything. So I can't help you. You had a deportation order longer than I've been alive. So you got to either self-deport and come back the right way. You done made money. You got family here. Self-deport, come back the right way if you have a legitimate claim. And although I would love for everybody in America to be like this on the same playing field. Everybody made good money. Everybody had good parents growing up. Everybody live in a safe neighborhood, in a safe environment. Everybody's well educated, have wisdom. Everybody knows God. I wish that everybody could be right here together. But that's not reality, unfortunately. Some people are willing to work while others sleep on the couch and they don't, or sleep on the couch playing video games all day. Some people are willing to pursue their dreams, understanding that God gives us visions to be creators in this world. And some people are too busy making excuses. Some people who are of the minority class believe that we are all Americans and we have access to the American dream and color means nothing. And then some of us play victim all day. I can't control how you live your life. And we're not going to save the world by letting 20 million illegal aliens ruin our country. There are billions of people who are starving right now. We will never be able to help. It's unfortunate. So we can't screw up what we got now for a few that y'all not even trying to save and they're not even trying to assimilate. All right, we got more clips. That was free. It ain't going to cost you nothing for all that wisdom. All right, let's look at anti-Semitism. We got about 3 more clips, and then we're going to get to Scott Jennings here in a second. Roll it.
As you know, been struggling with that in California as it relates to a lot of laws and legislation.
Of course, anti-Semitism is a fundamentally different cat than, for example, racism. It's basically a conspiracy theory about Jewish power in the world.
And it makes me sick to my stomach, and I say that clearly. And no, but not just of course. I mean, we've tried to lead in terms of our response, and we've called out and called balls and strikes in terms of the outrageous things that have happened.
So I would, in my own framework of anti-Semitism, I think that saying overtly false things about the Jewish state is a form of anti-Semitism, but I don't think that that is really important as much as it is it true or not? So Democrats have now been dragged into this conversation, some dragged, some run with, flags waving, into the conversation
This notion of genocide.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, look,
Israel did not commit a genocide in Gaza. There is no standard by which Israel committed a genocide in Gaza, just on a factual level.
Just
you know
as a
this.
legal and factual level.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is your opinion of this?
My opinion is, I understand the tendency for people to make that, to assert that.
Why?
On the basis of the images and the proportionality.
Ugly
as it
shit
relates
doesn't
to
mean genocide.
No. And by the way, I agree with you.
And international and proportionality doesn't mean that if you kill my child and I then kill 7 criminals, that I've been disproportionate.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think but I understand that tendency on the basis of trying to reconcile the proportionate nature of how the war was ultimately conducted and the devastation.
I have a question. Why do you feel the need to create a permission structure for that sort of stuff? I mean, meaning it's not true. Yeah. Why not just say it's not true?
Yeah, look, I don't know the definition, or I don't know the legal threshold. That's not my opinion, so I don't share that opinion as it relates to genocide. I do not agree with that notion.
But you do understand that if you accuse Israel of committing a genocide, that now puts Israel in the position of it should be a pariah state, because states that commit genocide should be pariah states. Yeah. So granting legitimacy to that position inherently,
I'm not granting legitimacy. I'm just saying the devastation in Gaza, at the human level. You've got 4 kids.
Of course, it's terrible.
No, but I think it's also important to absorb that a little bit more. Just as it was sick, and we were clear in our condemnation, these people like me, as it relates to what Hamas did in that act of barbarism and terrorism.
Yeah, but there's a difference between deliberate terrorism and wartime collateral damage, of course. And if we refuse to acknowledge that reality, then we end up equating
collateral damage. I have stronger opinions. It wasn't just collateral.
Really, you think that Israel is targeting civilians?
I think some of the double tapping issues. I have a lot of
double
issues
tapping
issues ultimately conduct the war. I personally do, and I have a lot of issues that are also painted on the basis of the conversation I had with a few weeks later after October 7th. The way he talked about the Palestinians, I kept talking about Hamas. He kept talking about the Palestinians. I kept coming back to Hamas, and then ultimately how the war.
Give me my button, bro. Let's see if you know which one. Give me my button. No, give me the other button. The other one. Try it. Let's see if you got it. Yeah, there you go. I knew you were going to get it. Do it one more time. Give me the button. Jew, man. Look, I just don't know how it's so hard for people to like, I don't know. Maybe because if you grew up as a politician and you know that you have to safeguard your exposure to both sides, meaning that you plan in the middle because you don't want to offend. I don't know that world. I only know how to say the stuff that I feel. And if you disagree with what I feel, if you could prove me wrong, maybe I could change my thought process. But why can't a person just say they committed a genocide or they didn't commit a genocide? All of that is nuance. No, it's not. They did not commit a genocide unless you are retarded and you don't know what a genocide is. Israel did not commit a genocide. And I tell you what, we would have done much worse than them if somebody came and did that to our citizens. And I tell you this, if you don't want your kids under rubble and rocks, then how about you never do that again? Can we just say that? Maduro, Cuba, Venezuela, Maduro in Venezuela, Iran, if you don't want no smoke and you don't want our special forces making you cough up blood and not be able to stand to your feet and potentially lose your life to the baddest guys on earth, then maybe you should do what we asked you to do. Or maybe not attack our country. That's all I'm saying. That's the only requirement. That's just like me. I love all y'all, man. Even if you disagree with me, even if you hate me, I still love you. You make me want to hate you, but I at the end of the day, I actually still love you. Don't come breaking my house, because then now I got to do something to you. So as long as if you don't want no violence from me, then don't create violent situations that you got to put yourself in. That's it. Hamas should have never put themselves in that position, and they wouldn't have no violence. I don't want to get down to the Jew thing, but let's get to the next clip. We got relationship to the governments from Ben Shapiro said they need to change. Roll it.
As you say, you're trying to remove regulations, but the problem is that unless we are willing to recognize a fundamental reality, which is that the relationship of the American people with their government needs to change.
Oh, I agree with that.
And what that means is that we need to radically remove the regulatory structures that allow for more building, that we need to radically stop perverting markets when it comes to how we make housing policy, that we need to stop wasting money in taxpayer funding on things like, for example, a gigantic, you once called it a boondoggle, high-speed rail that is going to cost in excess of $100 billion in this state.
Right.
The guarantee, and again, I see it rising on the populist right too, which is sort of a big government right, which is something I object to on a sort of classically conservative level. The promises that are made that if you give government more power and more taxpayer revenue, that suddenly these problems are going to be alleviated. And the actual result, which is less ability to do what my parents did, to move from a 2-bedroom small house in Burbank to a 4-bedroom, slightly larger house in North Hollywood. And then for me to go to a great state school like UCLA. And then for me to go to Harvard Law School and now to have a really, really nice house. I did have a nice house in California before we left, obviously. Those obstacles need to be removed.
Well, you sound like me. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, we can get high-speed rail aside. You made my speech and my argument the last 3 years in terms of the housing reforms we pursued. Could not agree more.
But you haven't gotten anything done. Like, I don't understand. I know everybody can't say everything in every conversation, but for me, it's very simple. Like, if I messed up or I'm not, it's like I would say, I'm trying to do these things, but here are the guardrails in place. The state legislature will not approve things that I have tried to do. I disagree with this policy, this policy, this policy. Homelessness is out of control because people are defrauding the homeless system. Like, why can't you just say that? Now, let's get to something else. I mean, Ben Shapiro said something really interesting, but we're going to go to Scott Jennings because I think Scott Jennings is worth a watch. I am perplexed at the people on these panels. I'm perplexed. I did not realize how ignorant, uneducated, and disingenuous most liberals are, even on television, and those who carry credentials in education. I want to say credentialized education, but it doesn't sound right. Those who carry credentials and are considered to be highly educated. It's like they break down the connective fibers for rationale when it comes to being mad at Republicans. Like, if it's something on their side, they cannot help themselves. They have to spew nonsensical things. Here's an example. Roll it.
I want to start with this idea of the Insurrection Act and whether this is the moment that the Trump administration has been waiting for. Scott, you have been convinced that this is the time.
Yeah, they'd be well within their rights to do it. I mean, you've got a governor of Minnesota who has said out loud that he believes they exist in a state of occupation of the federal government. You've got people going off to training how to fight federal agents. You've got massive amounts of money flowing into these groups to fund this stuff. And you have a bunch of elected officials in Minnesota who seem to believe that federal laws do not apply there. And you have massive unrest and massive disorder in the streets. And just last night, a ICE agent was trying to arrest a Venezuelan national, and 2 other Venezuelan nationals, all illegal immigrants, came out and tried to beat him to death with a shovel, which has apparently enraged everyone in Minnesota. They have a lot of problems there, and if Trump decided to do it, I think he'd be well within his rights to do so.
Now, tell me how somebody on the show, or 2 people on the show, 3 people on the show, fix their mouth to think that what he said is wrong. Like, I don't believe that we should pursue the Insurrection Act yet. I want Minnesota to be on their knees, crawling and begging for fresh air, before Donald Trump do anything, because they voted for this foolishness. They voted for these liberal dumb nut jobs, and they voted against Donald Trump almost every year. So Minnesota, when the unrest happens and the looting happens and the shooting starts and people can't get to work and they're blocking traffic and getting killed by ICE agents every night in and night out, I want those people to be so desolate, so confused, so enraged, so upset, so hopeless that they come crawling to Daddy Trump and say, please help us. And I want everybody to see the politicians in your state refuse to deploy the National Guard and watch it all burn. And then Donald Trump say, only then will I enact the Insurrection Act and send in the troops to help. Send in the National Guard to deploy them and make them activated, or send in, assets from the federal government. Outside of that, I'm not doing nothing. I want y'all to crash and burn. Like, I literally want to watch Minnesota get what they voted for. Nothing more, nothing less. Just get what you voted for. More Scott Jennings. Let's get to the next clip. Roll it.
So that's a little taste of Tim Walz, who has been under fire by Republicans.
Time out. Do we have Tim Walz's speech? We don't have it in the system. But just so you know, so I can contextualize this, she played a clip of Tim Walz's response, and we played it on the show the other day. Tim Walz's response to the craziness that was going on and the second shooting that happened. And he got on there and he said the craziest stuff that I've heard, that I believe he's invoking an insurrection. And we have the clip. Let's pull the clip up real quick, because this broad isn't going to play the real thing. She's just going to play a cut up, broke up version of it. Now, this is 5 minutes. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to play the first few minutes of it, and you're going to see exactly what happened. Roll it.
Let's be very, very clear. This long ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement. Instead, it's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of Minnesota by our own federal government. Last week, that campaign claimed the life of Renee Nicole Good. We've all watched the video. We've all seen what happened. And yet, instead of conducting an impartial investigation so we can hold accountable the officer responsible for Renee's death, the Trump administration is devoting the full power of the federal government to finding an excuse to attack the victim and her family. Just yesterday, 6 federal prosecutors, including the longtime career prosecutor leading the charge to investigate and eliminate fraud in our state's programs, quit their jobs rather than go along with this assault on the United States Constitution. But as bad as it's been, Donald Trump intends for it to get worse. This week, he went online to promise that, quote, the day of retribution and reckoning is coming. That's a direct threat against the people of this state, who dared to vote against him 3 times and who continue to stand up for freedom with courage and empathy and profound grace.
And brutality.
All across Minnesota, people are stepping up to help their neighbors who are being unjustly and unlawfully targeted. They're distributing care packages and walking kids to school and raising their voices in peaceful protest, even though doing so has made many of our fellow Minnesotans targets for violent retribution. Folks, I know it's scary, and I know it's absurd that we all have to be defending law and order, justice, and humanity while also caring for our families and trying to do our jobs. So tonight, let me say once again to Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, end this occupation. You've done enough. Let me say 4 critical things to the people of Minnesota. 4 things I want you.
Good. Occupation. It's an organized brutality by the federal government. He's glorifying the fact that neighbors are helping each other that are getting unlawfully arrested, I guess, which is the people attacking the ICE agent with a shovel. Then Renee Good, making bad decisions, decide to hit an ICE agent with a car and got smoked. Like, that's what was said. And I left out a couple of minutes. It's probably even worse. But she broke up parts of that, left out the context, and then it led her here. Roll that clip.
The accusation has been by conservatives, including by
another clip. The clip before that, where her face is on the camera, and she said, "This is from Tim Walz," It was a clip that we were going to play before this last one. That one.
So that's a little taste of Tim Walz, who has been under fire by Republicans. The accusation has been, by conservatives, including by you, Scott, that he's been inciting violence, but we just played it there.
Okay, you cherry-picked a handful of comments. Did you play the comment where he said, we're under a federal occupation? What is that language?
Is that inciting violence?
Of course it is. What does that language sound like to you?
Oh, really?
You have Walz and Fry and Flanagan and the rest of these Democrats in Minnesota radicalizing and propagandizing their constituency, telling them things that aren't true. And what has happened? One lady went out and got into a very, very sad and unfortunate situation. 3 Venezuelan illegals came out and tried to beat an ICE agent to death with a shovel. Hordes of people in the street vandalized and raided ICE vehicles and stole weapons, Kevlar, and documents, and doxed people on the internet last night. Do you believe they are listening to Tim Walz when he talks about peace, or do you think they're listening to Tim Walz who says we're being occupied by the federal government? I think it's obvious.
I appreciate that you acknowledge.
I mean, look, the governor is calling for peace. The mayor is calling for peace.
After he declared we were in a civil war.
And then we have ICE agents on the street saying,
Time out. You bald-headed nut job. Y'all heard a little bit of what Tim Walz just said. Where is it that Tim is calling for peace in that little speech he said? The mayor came out and said, get the out of my city. That's calling for peace? Why would you get on TV with your bald-headed self and say something that stupid and ridiculous? Roll the clip. 16 seconds.
To that other woman, right? So I think we need a global cooling off period. I think that the president needs to acknowledge that this is not going well. Both
can you get the Venezuelans to cool off with the shovels, or you think you'll be successful with it?
I don't think anybody should be using.
All right, next clip. We got more. We got more Scott Jennings on fire, boy. They playing with the wrong man. Roll it.
Are they going to realize that maybe things have gone too far?
Some of those people may disapprove because they want there to be more deportations even faster. You know, we've deported 2.6.
I don't think. Well, based on the poll,
I do.
Hold on, Scott. Based on the polling, we have a lot of polling, especially this week. There's been a CNN poll. There's a Quinnipiac poll. It's pretty clear they disapprove of his handling of deportations. They disapprove of what happened in Minnesota with Renee Good, and they disapprove of Trump's handling of immigration. If they thought he was doing a great job, they would applaud what has been happening so far. And he's
doing a great job.
Look, we can debate the polling. I can only refer you to the November 2024 election, in which Donald Trump flatly told the American people he was going to deport illegal aliens. He was going to mass deport illegal aliens, and that's exactly what they've done. They've deported.
He said he was going to deport the worst of the worst.
Yes.
And they are.
No, they're not.
And so
73% of them have no record whatsoever.
That
is not false.
Look,
and only 3% have violent crime.
Let finish. I can ask questions, and you just talk, and you talk.
So you've never talked over anybody. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so Charles, finish your thoughts, Scott.
Here's the deal. He ran on it, and he's doing it. And he's going to be the president for the next 3 years, and they're going to continue to do it. They've deported 2.6 million people. About 2 million have actually self-deported. Only 600 and something thousand have actually been deported through ICE or Border Patrol or other law enforcement operations. So the vast majority of people who are leaving the country are doing so through self-deportation. To me, the greatest question here is, why does it and why is it that Democrats in the state of Minnesota believe that they should be immune from or not applicable to federal immigration law that has been on the books for years? We haven't passed any new laws.
And again,
we haven't passed any new laws.
Why are you gay?
Why are you gay?
That dude gay as a snake. All right, let's go to the next clip.
They're being sued by American citizens over what they're calling illegal stops.
We'll see if the ACLU is any better lawyer over this than they were over transgender sports this week.
There are documented cases of American citizens being harassed by ICE, of non-citizens being stopped randomly simply based on maybe they have an accent, maybe they happen to be in a particular place like near an airport working for Uber. And at the very least, it raises questions about whether people's constitutional rights are being violated. And if that is the case, isn't it justified for Americans to be concerned about that?
So according to the reporting, there have been 170 American citizens who have been detained for some period of time during this period in which they have deported about 660,000 illegal aliens. That's about a 99.9997% success rate. If any other government agency got stuff that right that often, we'd be throwing them a ticker tape parade.
Man, look, if this country had a thing for black people and they wanted to check, verify if a black man is legal or illegal, you know how simple this will be? If an ICE agent came up to me, I just show them my identification. I'm sure they won't come up to me twice. So that's my only experience, is one experience, and I go, oh, yeah, here you go. Thank you. All right, I'll see y'all later. Y'all be good, all right? That's how to go. I'm driving down the street. Whoop, whoop. Oh, let me pull over. I'll say, how can I help you? I need your license and registration. I got my gun on me. How do you want me to handle it? Well, just keep your gun on and don't reach for it. All right, it's cool. My license is in my bag right here. Grab it out the bag, give it to me. Boop, 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 boop. Give it to him. I'm legal. My car's legal. My insurance is up to date. There ain't nothing there. Come back to the car. Hey, I want to give you a warning for speeding. Or I'm going to give you a ticket for speeding. It just say I wasn't speeding. Okay, thank you, sir, for the ticket. I know because I got common sense that I'm not going to argue with him right here. If I said I wasn't speeding, he clearly think I'm speeding. What do you think going to happen if I start arguing with him? He going to say, you know what, man? You argue very well. I'm going to change my mind, and I'm going to tear that ticket up I just wrote for you and filed. I already filed to the court. I'm going to write an addendum as soon as this traffic stop is over, and I'm going to spend all of this time to reverse what you did because you argued so well. You're stupid if you think that's going to happen. Don't argue with the man. Take the ticket and go argue it in court. I think I just had to pay a ticket. Oh, it wasn't my fault. It was somebody was driving a company car and got a ticket in it, and I had to go and deal with that ticket. But it's simple. Now I want to play this clip from a liberal. Hold on, what is this? Is that a title or is that the? Okay, I want to play a clip from the black guy that was walking down the street giving his opinions. Let's go to Caroline Levitt first, and then we'll come back to him. Caroline Levitt, this woman here is bad to the bone. She cooked this reporter. It's a 1 and 33-second clip. I haven't seen nobody get cooked like this in a long time. And I love that she's confident and brave enough to say it. And I met her a few times in person. I met her before she ever became the press secretary when she was running for office. I loved her ever since then. She's a hard worker. She has integrity. She's a good woman. She's brilliant. You name it, she got it. And these crazy reporters talking stupid out the side of their neck with all that estrogen in their body. Hey, this is what happened to you, bro. You get cooked. Roll the clip.
And earlier on, Secretary Newsom spoke to the media, and she said, among other things, that they are doing everything correctly. 32 people died in ICE custody last year. 170 U.S. citizens were detained by ICE, and Renee Good was shot in the head and killed by an ICE agent. How does that equate to them doing everything correctly?
Why was Renee Good unfortunately and tragically killed?
Are you asking me my opinion? Because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed her unjustifiably.
Oh, okay. So you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist. And it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat. But you're pretending like you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves your bias. You should be reporting on the facts. You should be reporting on the cases. Do you have the numbers of how many American citizens were killed at the hands of illegal aliens who ICE is trying to remove from this country?
Come on,
I bet you don't. I bet you didn't even read up on those stories.
Come on.
I bet you never even read about Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungray or all of the innocent Americans who were killed at the hands of illegal aliens in this country. And the brave men and women of ICE are doing everything in their power to remove those heinous individuals and make our communities safer. And shame on people like you in the media who have a crooked view and have a biased view and pretend like you're a real honest journalist.
Oh my goodness, I'm glad she said that. Nobody could have said it better. You can tell by someone's statement that they're stupid. You can say what you want. When you drive off and ram somebody with a car, that is perceived as a use of deadly force. And therefore, the officer, the deputy, whatever, can respond with deadly force. And if you get smoked as a result, that's your fault. No one with a connected brainstem believes that it was justified in what she did. No one with a brainstem believes that gentleman will be prosecuted for his level of use of force. Nobody. And it's funny because they say she was murdered, but what part of that was murdered according to the law? Not your feelings, but the law. Well, go look the law up and see, is it justified for someone to use deadly force against you if you rammed them with the car? She lined up and she hit him. It don't matter if you intentionally did it or not. Like, let me just clear this up real quick. Send this to your whack job cousin or somebody. Just because when it comes to use of deadly force, the person on the other side's intent is irrelevant in the instance where there has to be a diagnosis of, is this a deadly force situation or not? Meaning, she didn't have to intend to hit him with the car. He can't read her mind. How is he going to determine, well, her intentions is to drive and clip me with the car and go down the street and park and let a lesbian girlfriend get back in the car and go home and make no food for her son, whom she should probably lose custody of. Nobody is thinking about what a person thinking about. You can't diagnose use of force based on intent. You only have to go based on actions. So if it's just say if a person is there and they pull the gun out and point at me, I don't have to get shot in order for me to use deadly force against the person. And I don't need to know whether they were playing, whether they were going to shoot me, or they're going to shoot a warning shot. None of that is associated with the use of deadly force determination or determination of whether you use deadly force. It's that if I perceived that your behavior is a danger to me, a threat of serious bodily injury and or death, I can then utilize deadly force to protect me and others. All you got to do is either ask a cop or read the statute, and you'll know this. And the fact that people are in these positions, they don't know what the F they talking about, they tell you everything you need to know. All right, let's go to my brother right here, my brother from another mother. I like this clip. When I see black people that, like, their brains work, I get excited, man. That made me feel good that a brother actually got a brain. Roll the clip.
And listen, for all of you anti-ICE protesters out there, listen, y'all need to just go the home. Go home. Or better yet, go to work. Like, I'm so sick and tired of y'all, man. Like, there are a lot of people out here who are getting really sick and tired of y'all. Like, y'all are really out here protesting over some goofy shit. Like, it's insane, man. Like, it's really insane. ICE was brought out to do their job. So let them do their job. Like, these people are still out here protesting over some goofy broad that made the stupid choice to not mind their business. Oh, Steve, that's mean. Hey, look, it is what it is, okay? Look, it's sad that Renee Good lost her life, but at the same time, too, she was stupid for not minding her business. And you still have people protesting out here in these streets in the name of Renee Good. Like, yo, y'all need to get your goofy ass back in the house where y'all belong. Get the out of the way and let ICE do their damn job. Like, I swear to God, man, like this should not be happening, man. This shouldn't be happening. And you know what, too? It's going to get to a point where you have one of these Minneapolis residents run over one of these protesters. And if that happens, then it is what it is. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna feel sorry for anybody. If one of these protesters get hit and ran over by a Minneapolis resident that's not involved in these protests, I'm not gonna shed no tears. I'm not, because these people, they're pissing everybody off. They are. And again, they're doing this because some goofy ass broad made the choice to not mind her business. They're out here protesting simply because some goofy ass broad made the choice to use her vehicle to try to kill an ICE agent. Like, these ICE agents, they're not playing with y'all, man. These people are not playing with y'all. So with that being said, mind your business, get the out of the way, and let ICE do their job, and let ICE get these damn Somalis up out of our country. Because these people, they're wasting, they're taking up space. These Somalis, they're taking up space. They're stealing our money, and they're stealing our resources. They need to get out of here. These people have overstayed their welcome. They need to go. But anyway, man, that's it. That's all I got to say. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, and I'm out. I love y'all. Peace.
He must be watching my videos. Nah, I'm playing. Nah, hey, I love that. I endorse that message. Here's another guy. I'm going to play a series of clips of these nut jobs. I just want y'all to see. Too good, and then you'll see some propaganda weirdos in the middle, and then we'll be done with the show. So let's go with maybe not. Maybe, yeah, I think we're cutting it close on the time. So let's go with 207.
They're asking ICE to...
Hold on. Give him the button.
Why are you gay?
There you go. Roll the clip.
Outrageous things. They are recruiting them using Nazi, white supremacist propaganda, hinting to that. And then people see that. People who don't recognize it as Nazi or white supremacists, maybe they just join anyway. But the ones who do recognize it see it as a hint. Same kind of hint.
Time out. I don't understand how people get to these conclusions. What hurdles are you jumping over and pretzels are you squirming through to come to the conclusion that you're talking about the text, the script writing for recruiting for ICE is associated with Nazis and white supremacists? What the are you talking about? Most of us, my age, have no idea what you're talking about. We weren't alive in the 30s. We weren't alive in the 40s, 50s, 60s. My daddy was born in the 60s. I wasn't near being alive in the 60s. We don't know. We don't read Hitler books. Ain't nobody know ain't nobody looking at ICE 100 years later going, man, that's a Nazi thing. I wasn't even going to join ICE until I heard a Nazi phrase. It's like just because you say we want to fight for our country and fight for our freedoms, and because Hitler said that, you Hitler-esque. Like Hitler wore Adidas or something, and if you wear Adidas, you Hitler. Wasn't it the Hitler Youth that had some associated with Adidas? The Nazis had some association with Volkswagen. So now just because you drive a Volkswagen and there was a Volkswagen in the ICE commercial, you must be associated with the Hitler Youth. Y'all sound so stupid, it's crazy. Roll the clip.
As stand back and stand by. And then you
stand back and stand by.
This is not people coming to Washington to protest. These are people being placed in my neighborhood doing horrible things to my neighbors. And when people respond to that, they say, now the problem we created, we will solve with more force. This is a horrible political play.
First of all, how dare you sit here and accuse ICE agents of being Nazi, Gestapo, and white supremacists when they are enforcing laws. You just insinuated that they're apparently recruiting others. You said they're recruiting others, and then it's a dog whistle for others to then apply to that.
Absolutely.
Second of all,
let me tell you what he's referring to.
You didn't see that?
He's referring to posts that have been put out on social media by DHS.
I've seen all the posts.
And on the Department of Labor and on other accounts that have been traced back to white supremacist chat rooms, iconography.
So that's the equivalent of Hitler drank water. So if you drink water, you're Hitler.
Did you not see the one?
Well, look.
Did you not see the one with George Washington?
There's plenty of stuff.
Did you see the one with George Washington?
Which specific one?
The one where they were using Nazi, it's hinting at Nazi phrasing over a picture of George Washington. Did you see it?
Did
you see it? You didn't see it.
Well, what was Nazi
you didn't see it. You said you see it, but
Oh, time out. No, he didn't see it. This is how I be catching people doing this all the time. She said, did you see the Washington thing? Because he assumed she didn't see it. And he assumed that she was going to walk away from it because she thought he knew more than he did. So she said, well, what did he say? You didn't see it. You didn't see it. No, what did he say? Pull him back on the screen. Peel the milk dud back on the screen. Go back 2-3 seconds. What, right there. Go play it. What did he say
Nazi
then?
phrasing over a picture of George Washington. Did you see it? Did you see it? You didn't see it.
Well, what was the Nazi
you didn't see it. You said you see it, but you didn't see it.
What is the phrase? What is the phrase?
And you didn't see it. And the reason
How can you accuse her of seeing it if you can't say the phrase?
I don't want to, guys, hold on. I don't know what you're talking about. 1 second. Everybody stop talking.
One eternity later.
Right. I want to make sure we get this phrase in, because the phrase is one homeland, one people, one heritage. Remember who we are as American over a picture of George Washington. And that is a hint at what a lot of people are suggesting is a hint at a Nazi German party thing that said one people, one realm, one leader. Do you remember what the largest Nazi rally
I'm about to
ever
get
held
off
in
the
America,
show.
where it was held?
I'm about to get stop this. Stop it. I'm about to get off the show. I'm finna quit my show. This fool read something, and then he read something that didn't say nothing that the other one said. I think it says one people may be the same. The phrase wasn't even the same. I thought this Negro was going to get on there and regurgitate a parallel, congruent phrase. He regurgitated something that didn't even say the same thing. And he's going on TV and saying it's a Nazi dog whistle. And the phrases ain't even close. What in a funnel cake is going on here? Play it back. Just a little bit. Get this clip. I can't believe people go on TV and say this. Play it.
Over a picture of George Washington. Did you see it? Did you see it? You didn't see it.
Well, what was the Nazi
You didn't see it. You said you see it, but you didn't see it.
What is the phrase? What is the phrase?
And you didn't see it. And the reason...
Can you accuse
Somebody wrote in the phrase after
I
the
don't want
break.
to, guys, hold on. I don't
Exactly.
1 second. Everybody stop talking.
One eternity later.
Right. I want to make sure we get this phrase in, because the phrase is one homeland, one people, one heritage. Remember who we are as American over a picture of George Washington. And that is a hint at what a lot of people are suggesting is a hint at a Nazi German party thing that said one people, one realm, one leader. Do you remember what the largest Nazi rally ever held in America, where it was held?
Have you ever seen a dollar bill that says one nation under God? Have you ever read John Jay, who said we were one people with one language?
In Madison Square Garden in 1934. Right. And you know what picture was on that stage? George Washington. And you know what the person said when they got on the stage to introduce that Nazi rally? Was that if George Washington was alive today, he and Adolf Hitler would be friends.
Right. And a normal president.
That's what that is.
Thank you so much.
Like, I'm dumbfounded. I just, why go down that path when that don't even make sense? We're one nation under God, indivisible. That sounds like a Nazi trope. That sound, somebody can say, well, they got that from one nation under God indivisible. That sound like the Nazi thing. That thing said one leader. That didn't have nothing to do with what was said on George Washington. One people, not one leader. That's a whole nother different conversation. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's go to I just want to play a couple clips. We're gonna have to skip the one thing real quick because we have nowhere for people to go. So let's go to the Black Panthers. Real quick. I just want y'all to see. We're gonna rapid fire these. Just play a couple clips. Look how stupid these people are, and we're gonna keep going. Just play it.
No ICE agent ever run up on me. I guarantee you they won't. I'll put a hole in their chest the size of a window. Safe line repair, safe line replace. That's what's gonna happen. They touch me. Unarmed woman was killed by ICE. If you think you're about to come and brutalize the people while we're standing here, around and find out. Our interactions with the police and ICE,
Next clip.
we hold them
accountable. I am a U.S. veteran. I'm a citizen. For once in my life, I'm thinking I'm back in Afghanistan. So really think about that implication. This is not a combat zone. This is America.
What happened?
Time out. I have a feeling he never was in a comeback zone. I just have a feeling. I don't know a wussy like this that was in a combat zone. We're not in Afghanistan. It's not a combat zone. They're going. I want y'all to wait to the end of this clip because we're going to play this clip through. Wait till you hear how it unfolded. You got a guy claiming that he was in combat in Afghanistan, which nobody can prove. I guarantee he's lying just based on how his demeanor. He claimed he was in combat in Afghanistan. He's a business owner. And wait till you hear what happened in his business. It's a minute 44 clip. Roll it.
It's just like we hear, they were running around and they came to our facility. Luckily, we saw them across the street walking over here. Because of the state of the world right now, we have contingency plans on how to protect our people. Thankfully, we were able to lock our doors and deny them entrance.
Time out.
They didn't have one.
So, what functional business? If ICE came to my door right here, I don't care. Come in. Y'all want some waters? What y'all need? Y'all need somebody in here? Who is it? Come on down here. What y'all need? Y'all need his papers? Show him your papers. You're illegal. Get him out of here. I should sue him. I'm going to sue him for lying to me about being legal. What else y'all need, ICE? Y'all need his email? Here's his email. I'm not locking the door, protecting my people from ICE. All right, now listen to how it finishes. Because this dumb hamburger heifer is leading questions, but listen to how it finished. Roll the clip.
Warrants then?
No warrants. They're
coming here on the off chance.
Yeah, indiscriminately, just your skin tone, your type of job and everything. That's what they're targeting.
They took one of your employees?
Yes. So, unfortunately, we don't know what's going to happen to him. It's he pop up and disappear. So we have to let his family know and wish them the best and try to support them as much as possible. We are a family here. That's what we try to really push in the sense of this business. We're a family-owned business. We're local. Everybody here is family. So,
hold on. They took one of your employees. Not all of them. They didn't take you. They didn't take none of the other Mexicans in there. They took one of your employees. I hope they shut this whole business down because you cannot knowingly and intentionally employ an illegal alien. And this guy just said on camera that he attempted to harbor the person and not let them have access. When they came and took somebody, that means that person was on a list. Finish it.
Seeing this happen is very detrimental. I mean, my staff is emotionally wrecked. It's not something you're used to. It's not the America I fought for.
You
when
fall
you
for
say it feels like Afghanistan, the threat level, the trauma, is that what you're talking about?
Well, let's put it this way. When you're driving around looking over your shoulder constantly for threats, when you're constantly looking at the person, whether they're going to be a threat to you, your life, your state of being.
What?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we were trained to do.
Time
Are they
out.
gonna hurt
Time
me,
out.
cause me harm?
That platypus didn't fight nowhere and wasn't in no combat. I guarantee you, if somebody know him, they'll be like, nah, he didn't even get deployed. He probably sitting stateside at the military base doing push-ups. You didn't get deployed. Like, ain't nobody that really did work in Afghanistan is talking like this fool. This fool said, I'm looking over my shoulders like I'm in Afghanistan. You looking over your shoulders for ICE? What is ICE gonna do to you? You a citizen. Come on, finish clip. I got one more clip and then I got to get out of here. Roll it.
Yes, no, and you move on. I'm not saying that's what we should be thinking or doing. Absolutely not. But my own traumas take me that way. And there's a lot more veterans out there, brothers and sisters, who think and feel the same way. It's not a combat zone. This is America. We have the police here. We have laws. None of them are being followed. None of them are being implemented.
Combat zone.
It's honestly a disgrace to our country. This is not what I fought for. I don't stand for this.
You are a octopus, my friend. You are a platypus. I don't know which ones you are, but you one of them animals. You should be ashamed of yourself talking about you served and other people in the military are afraid. Put the next one on here, and it's the worst, and then we're going to end the show. This guy, let me preface it. Let me set you up real quick. This weirdo, you can tell by the skinny neck and the way he's standing that his daddy didn't love him. And his daddy never was there for him and teach him how to be a man and how to stand up with his back straight. His mama must have had him walking around with little high heels on, being a platypus. I'm going to tell everybody that's watching this, you work for me. If you ever do this, I'm going to fire you on the spot. There may be some furniture movement. You ever do this in a meeting, you might as well put your papers in now. Roll the clip.
On behalf of our coworkers, just really quick, we're going to...
No, stop. The other weirdo, the lady over there, is a store manager. She the store manager. He stopped the store management meeting to give a PSA. Let's see what he say. Start it over.
On behalf of our coworkers, just really quick, we're going to briefly pause the meeting to express some grave concerns. So last week, ICE agents murdered Renee Nicole, a beloved community member and mother of three in broad daylight. So since then, they've set up checkpoints targeting 5 cop drivers, physically assaulted teens, and tear gas school children. Their actions make it clear the presence of ICE agents poses a threat to everyone, most especially to our Somali, Hmong, and Hispanic neighbors. Current guidance is inadequate. We are empowered to ask ICE agents to leave if and only if they are harassing or disrupting business, but the only way to prevent this from happening in the first place is to our customers or us is to forbid them from access to the premises outright. Back to Starbucks' initiative to describe our stores as places designed for comfort, connection, and community. This isn't possible, isn't true when our workplace allows ICE agents into our stores. For the sake of its partners and for the sake of its customers, Starbucks must follow hundreds of Minnesota businesses that forbid ICE from entering without a warrant until January 22nd. If Starbucks cannot follow the rules, thank you for listening.
Why are you gay?
It's always the weird blue-haired women, white liberal, and these little soy boys. Just a wuss. I swear, if somebody walked up to him and said, let's fight, he'll pee down his leg and cry and ball up in the corner. That's what he would do. I want to go to Minnesota to this Starbucks and see him in the back and do him like this. What? He'll peeing himself and everything. I don't know if it's in the genes or what. My son better never be like that. Bro, you can't be, you got the bloodline. You better straighten up, bruh. I don't know if I gotta give you some testosterone or something, give you a T-force. You can't walk around with my name being a wuss. Anyway. All right, I got to get on an important call. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Do all that fun stuff. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.